Hello, and this is Gooey Dog again. And what I want to talk about is uh, someone like since I was young. I don't know how young I was. I heard the saying, "It's always darkest before the dawn." It's always darkest before the dawn, and I never understood that saying because when you're young, uh, uh, you come towards everything. You see the world in logical terms. Everything's logical, everything is intelligent. They follow laws because you don't have the experience of the older people to understand um, how the world really works by being through it. Rather, you just kind of think of it as, it must follow logic. So I never understood the saying, it's always the darkest before the dawn, because that if you think about it, then it would be the darkest when the sun is the furthest away from you, like if you're on the surface of the earth. So midnight will be the darkest. So why is it always darkest before the dawn? It's interesting that if you think about it, like if you actually experience the phenomena, like you're looking at the night sky, there is this phenomena called a false dawn, and that is that you see this band of white. It appears across the middle of the sky, and then you think to yourself, well, that must be the twilight coming, that must be the dawn. It's arriving at last, that you've gone through a whole night, and then all of a sudden you see this white band, and that is the twilight of dawn appearing, and the sun will surely rise after that. Then it disappears, and that, when it disappears, that's when you feel dejected. That you thought finally, the dawn is arriving. You've gone through what is called the night of the soul. That you've gone through your hardest time in life. That you have to dig deep, and you have to kind of rely on your internal resources. And then right now, just at the moment where you think that it's all over, things are going to get better, it's taken away from you, and that is what it means that night is darkest before the dawn. It's that darkness after the false dawn that that feels more dark, the darkest that it's ever been for you. And then the Tao Te Ching, it actually mentions something, and these kind of weave in together. So there's the quote by that the night is darkest before the dawn, and then the Tao Te Ching, it also says that people give up just before they succeed. And he also says, so give as much attention to the end as the beginning, and there will be no failure. So what does it mean by that? It means that, that at that point when you've kind of thought the dawn was coming, you thought that finally all your efforts are seeing fruit, and then it was taken away from you, that false dawn disappears. And internally, like, in your head and in your heart, you've decided, you've come to the conclusion that it's over, it's finished, and there's nothing left. You're not going to recover from this, or you're not going to recover whatever you're doing. That this is the end. Give as much attention to the end as you did at the beginning. In the beginning, that you when you started something, you were unsure, but you had the pep, you had the energy, and you took shaky steps, but you still tried. So even when you feel that it's the end, still show up. Even though you don't feel like it, still show up. It doesn't. What most people do is they just get angry, and then they dash it, they throw it to the side. They say, that's it, it's over, it's finished. I don't want to hear, I don't even see it anymore. And that is not right. What is right is just to, you think it's the end. Yeah, you believe it's the end. You firmly, you have no doubts in your mind and in your heart that it's the end. But just carry on as you did at the beginning. And then surely, just like the night is darkest before the dawn, that false dawn, then quietly and slowly the true dawn comes. And that's what the Tao Te Ching means by that there will be no failure. Give as much attention to the end as the beginning, and there will be no failure. And the Quran, it says it in a different way. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم.
حتى إذا استيأس الرسل وظنوا أنهم قد كذبوا جاءهم نصرنا فنجي من نشاء ولا يرد بأسنا عن القوم المجرمين.
So it to the meaning more or less that when the prophets came to, like, they'd given up, they'd come to their end, they'd given it all, and they couldn't give any more. And they were perceived by the people as having lied, that they said such and such would happen, and the people came to the conclusion that they had lied, that, it was just all lies. That's when the help of God came. That's when the help of God came. That it was at that point when the false dawn took away every hope, every hope of things getting better. That's when, like, in that moment of darkness that just before the dawn, and they carried on regardless, that's when the help of God came. So just a little pointer about life, that sometimes things seem really dark, and then you have kind of the last hope taken away from you, and then just carry on, just keep on taking, just show up, just keep on taking one step after another, even though your heart is not in it. And as the Tao Te Ching says, then there will be no failure. If you like what you heard, make sure you subscribe, hit the notification bell, and choose all. Give us a thumbs up or thumbs down, and write in the comment section why you gave us a thumbs up or thumbs down. And thank you for listening, and goodbye.